أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على محمد وآل Muhammad. A short commentary on the penultimate chapter or surah of the Holy Quran, and that is the surah Al-Falaq. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ وَمِنْ شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ. Say, O Prophet, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak, from the evil of whatever He has created, and from the evil of the night when it sneaks, and from the evil of those blowing onto knots, and from the evil of an envier when they envy. This chapter, this surah, contains instructions to the Messenger of God, and by extension to the believers, to seek refuge in God from all evil of His creation. Thank you very much. In the last surah, the Surat Nas, we mentioned that the main evil that Allah is inviting us to seek refuge in Him from is the evil of the whisperers. Min sharril waswasil khannas. Yes, the hiding, deceiving whisperers. In here, there's a more kind of elaboration on evils of things that we seek refuge in God from. Let me start by mentioning another narration about the status of this surah with the surah of An-Nas. So these two together, we said they were revealed together. A narration from the Messenger of God, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that he said to one of his companions, ألا أعلمك سورتين هما أفضل سور القرآن, or من أفضل سور القرآن, shall I not teach you two surahs that are the best or of the best of the surahs of the Quran? The man said, yes, O Messenger of God. And then he taught me the two mu'awwidhatain, the two surahs of Qul A'udhu. And he recited them in the salat. The Prophet recited them in the salat of Al-Ghadat. Apparently it's the morning prayer before the Fajr prayer. And he commanded me to read them and recite them whenever I wake up and sleep. The first verse, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak. Linguistically, falaq is the splitting, the separating. Falaq is this cleaving of something from darkness to light, from non-existence to existence, something that sprouts. And so the daybreak or the dawn is called falaq because it represents this breaking of the light from the darkness, the breaking of the day out of the night. And so we seek refuge in God from the evil of everything. Everything basically is brought to existence by God from nothing. Everything apparently and evidently came out of nothing. It emerged into existence out of nothing, out of non-existence. And who brought everything to existence? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And who's able to revert the process back? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By the same power, by the same capability. And so we seek refuge in Him from anything that might threaten us or any evil that might harm us. Allah says in the Quran, Sūrat Al-An'am, إِنَّ اللَّهَ فَالِقُ الْحَبِّ وَالنَّوَى. Allah indeed is the one who causes seeds and fruit, stones to sprout. Falaq, falaq. He causes things to sprout. The verse continues, He brings forth the living from the dead and the dead from the living. That is Allah, capable. That is Rabb Al-Falaq, the Lord of what? Anything that emerges, anything that actually emerged in this world. Although the most apparent meaning of Falaq is the dawn, but it can be extended to include everything really that came to existence. What do we seek refuge to God from? Min sharri ma khalaq, from the evil of whatever He has created, from the evil that might touch us from the humans, from the jinn, from the animals, from accidents, from our own selves, from our own evil inclining self, These are things that might be sources of evil that we would seek refuge in God from. It doesn't mean that things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created are essentially evil. Allah says in the Quran, الَّذِي أَحْسَنَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقَهُ. Allah perfected everything that He has created. But the things that He has created, there are things that He created, for example, in us, that are supposed to be in a certain path, and then we deviate, and then we go to evil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, created our nafs. We have a certain trajectory that God created for us, or that God wanted for us, that God planned for us. We're created in this world so that we grow, so that we learn, so that we develop, so that we be greater, more perfect, good, so that we experience mercy, love, sadness. All these things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to experience them, because that's how we grow, that's how we develop, that's how we reach Him and experience Him. We have a certain reason, we have a certain purpose that Allah has made us in this world for. And then what do? We go and deviate, we go and sin, we go and disobey Allah. We go and follow our desires instead of following our intellect. What do we do then? We create evil, we cause evil. That's evil. That's one dimension of evil, let me say. Also, many things that we might think of as evil, in reality they are not. How many of us thinks that the exams are evil? When you're not prepared, obviously. They're evil. Why? Because I haven't prepared, I haven't studied, I feel terrible now, of course it's evil. Well, exams are actually supposed to make you what? Make you go study and do well so that you'll be successful in your professional life in the future. You don't see it now, you'll see it in many years from now. And so you need to be patient and listen to the advice that your parents give you. How many of us think that financial difficulty is pure evil? And only 5 or 10 years later, you look back and say, oh, subhanallah, that was really good. It taught me lessons. So it wasn't that pure and evil after all, was it? Evil is not, or the experiences that we go in life through, the difficulties, the pains, they're not pure evil. We need to look at them from certain perspectives. Something to think about. Evil can be relative as well. Sometimes we look at volcanoes or earthquakes or floods as, pure evil. Well, to some it might look as evil, but have we considered, for example, how it, let's say, benefit the environment to a certain level and extent? I'm not going to start a biology lesson now, but something for us to research and think. Evil is relative. Sometimes something that you see, let's say the knife, might be evil to the fruit, but it's not evil to me. I'm using it to benefit myself. So we seek refuge in God from any evil that can come from His creation. There are 3 types of evil now that Allah tells us about. And apparently, or maybe, Allah is mentioning these because these are probably the worst circumstances of evil that might attack us. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. And from the evil of the night when it sneaks. غاسق, it usually refers to the night when it goes dark. Why? What is the evil there? What is the evil there? Possibly, darkness is something that assists the evildoers, is something that covers, encourages those who want to do evil, to do it in the night. Why? The circumstances are convenient for the, let's say, the crime doer to cover himself, to cover herself. That's why you see maybe more evil or more crimes happening in the night than in the day. People are weaker in the night than in the day. They're more vulnerable in the night than in the day. But if you generalize this, if you kind of extrapolate from it, the general scene of what? Oh God, I seek refuge in you, not just when this night occurs and then I become more vulnerable. Oh God, I seek refuge in you whenever there are circumstances that meet and that become ripe for evil to hit me, even in the daylight, not necessarily in the night. Circumstances around me, in the society, in the community, in my family, anywhere, where the circumstances come together, conspire against me, encouraging the evil to hit me more. So this could be an understanding that we could understand from this verse. Oh God, I seek refuge in you at times where I'm vulnerable. at times where evil conspires or the circumstances conspire against me. Give me strength, O God, give me protection. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ, and from the evil of those blowing onto knots. The grammatical form of an-naffathat is feminine, for those of you who know Arabic. It's feminine. It could indicate, some suggest that it refers to the women who whisper in the ears of men, especially their husbands, in order to what? Deflect them from their duties. In order to, for example, dissuade them from their resolve, something that they're supposed to do. Jihad, for example. That's an example. That's an application of this kind of whispering. We've seen that in history. We've seen, for example, the wife of Abu Sufyan. Yes? We've seen, for example, what happened with Imam al-Hussein, salamullahi alayhi. People were supposed to be supporting him, joining him. And then we remember what happened with Muslim bin Aqil, when he had thousands of supporters with him, but then this man, his wife, comes to him and whispers, and she would say, for example, he won't need you. It won't really be dependent on you only. He has all the thousands, Imam Hussein. So fine, come home. Some say, for example, that women influence men's hearts, as Fakhr Razi, influence men's hearts because of the influence of their love in their hearts, for example. And we see these kind of tricks are still used in this day and age by intelligence services or intelligence, agencies. They try to use women who blow in knots or on knots, opening the locks of secrets in the hearts of men and obtaining even the most intimate secrets. So this is an understanding of this verse. You could kind of apply that into this situation. Or you could generalize that verse. You could extrapolate much more from it. It can be also referring to the whispers of the evil souls or the skeptical groups who try to send their whispers to peoples and nations through the media, for example. Trying to convince people, there's no point in resisting occupation. There's no point. The result is destruction. Whispering. Whispering in the hearts of people to deflect them from their duty. This is an example. This is an application. It could also be referring to the gossipers. Gossipers who destroy relationships, destroy the connection of love between people. Why? They gossip, they backbite. They maybe make up news in order to create fitna. That's an example of those who blow naffathat fil uqad, blow into the knots or into the determination, into the resolve of people. And there's no harm in thinking of this verse as a general verse that might be referring to all these situations. The last verse, وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ. O God, we seek refuge in you from those who blow into the knots, who whisper, and also from what? The evil of those or the person who would be envying, from the envier when they envy. This is grouped with the group of evils that we seek refuge in God from. This really shows us that envying is one of the worst sicknesses of the heart. One of the worst. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala counted 3 main evils in this surah, hasad, envy, is one of them. So harmful that it is mentioned as a specific one that we seek refuge in God from. It is the most despicable of vices. What is envy? Envy is really it's a psychological state whereby you would hope that, or you would wish other people to be deprived of a blessing that they have. Someone has a wealth. You would feel, not that, oh God, give me wealth. No. Oh God, that person doesn't deserve it. Take it off him or her. Someone has beauty. Someone has a family. Someone has a certain level of iman, faith, that doesn't deserve, Oh God, take it off. I wish it is taken off. Sometimes it's not about something good they have. It is something that you perceive to be good. For example, this person is funny. I don't like him or her to be funny. I hope they're not funny anymore. Maybe you perceive them to be funny. Maybe they're not funny in reality, But it's your psychological state whereby you wish someone else to be stripped of that blessing. The issue with the hasad is that this sickness, if I don't rid myself of it, it can push me to actually cause the other people harm, to strip them of the blessing, to actually go and destroy their wealth, because I really wish that they lose that blessing, to destroy their relationships, to create fitna between two people. Why? Because I don't want to see these two people, for example, in agreement. And that's a source of evil, a deep source of evil, that, of course, we ask Allah that He may protect us from being a source of that evil, and also being victims of that evil. O Allah, we ask you that you may protect us from every evil, the evil of, or the evil that we know and the evil that we don't know, the evil of what we see and the evil of what we don't see. For, O God, we have no power, no capability, no protection except for what you kindly provide. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Salawat.